The power of the dark side.
Right, so we're back again, and this time we're on episode number 2 of the Quickie series, trying out something new on the channel again. We hope you guys are enjoying it, and as always, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, it helps the channel grow. So did I just rhyme? That's lame. Today's topic we're going to be getting into is going to be on Rey, new Rey, Jedi Rey, Starbase Killer Rey, Jedi in Training Rey. I've heard everything underneath the sun, and we don't have anything firm yet. So let's talk all about her. So, Kirill, do you have any insight that you want to lead off with?
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting her anytime soon. Uh, we thought Commander Luke Skywalker was a tough haul. She's behind a lot of stuff, and it's going to be tough. Not only from a free to play perspective, but from any player's perspective. It's going to be a farm, and I think that's what we're driving at. Is it worth the farm? And I guess I want to know from a more experienced player's position, is she worth the farm?
I'm going to have to go ahead and give a TLDR here and just say no, absolutely not. She's a good addition because she's really good in the things that she is good at. But it just so happens that she doesn't have very many things that she is good at. So, using a Magic the Gathering term, and I know no one wants to hear about Magic the Gathering on this channel, but she's a sideboard character. You know, you're bringing her in against those General Kenobi, Zeta Barris teams. You know, you're bringing her in isolated situations. Territory war, she's going to be great because, you know, a lot of people use General Kenobi and Zeta Barris on their defense squads. So it's good that she exists. I'm happy that she exists. That healing immunity is really great. However, let's just quickly go over the abilities of Rey real quick. What'd you see that you liked, that you didn't like, and let's just talk about each one.
Sure. I mean, on paper, she looks like she has a pretty fun kit. Which, I mean, that might be the big draw of her. She has a fun kit. It's interesting. It's fun. So the connected strikes, her basic, really neat because for if she doesn't have a debuff, she deals 25% more damage. If she has a buff, she deals 25% damage. Now, depending on the character she's attacking, if they don't have a buff, she deals 25% more damage. If they have a debuff, she deals 25% damage. So there you go. You get the full gambit. It goes up 100% damage. Now, looking on the site, depending on what her base damage is, this could be huge. I have a feeling it might not be, but that's us just being cynical.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily being cynical. I mean, the proof is in the pudding there. So it sets up all of the check boxes in the GIF, and we're going to play a video of the GIF above us. Or
yeah.
But in essence, you know, it sets up, you know, that she doesn't have any debuffs. She has a buff. The opponent doesn't have any buffs and is also debuffed. So she's getting her 100% bonus damage in the GIF that you're seeing. And she's getting a crit, and she's gear 12, and probably has some pretty close to God mods on her. And she's only hitting for a whopping 11k and some change. So, I mean, base damage without a crit and without hitting any of the ticks as far as the buffs and all that stuff, checking those tick boxes, you know, she's going to be hitting for like 3750. That's pretty underwhelming, I would say. So definitely.
At the end of the day, she does have a tank descriptor on her, so she is a tank. So I mean, we can't expect her to be hitting that hard. So
well, you know, a tank that doesn't taunt, how useful is that?
That's true. I mean, that's a big. If you're doing pro con columns here, that's a big con if she's a tank without a taunt. So I agree there. Her next ability is the one that we are actually, or you were most kind of not really excited, but really like that it's in the game. Um, well, it's already in the game, but it was really great that she had it on her kit. It's called Defiant Slash. So this is the one where it's going to deal the physical damage and it's going to put the healing debuff on the character. So it has a cooldown, so it's not like it's on her basic, like your
And the cooldown's 5, so it's kind of big. Unless
yeah,
you're putting her in a Finn-led team to where, the resistance can lower those cooldowns. But outside of a resistance team, you can't just like throw her in one spot. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no,
yeah.
no. I mean that's exactly what I was thinking too. Was it was such a high cooldown, and for what it does, it's just not enough. It's very niche, as we described earlier. So that was it's cool though. Like I said, this kit, if you're looking at it, super fun to look at. Super cool ideas on it. Um, just she may require more buffs if she's going to be this huge legendary creature that or character that CG wants us to go after. They're gonna have to make her more sexy. That's all there is to it. This is actually my favorite ability of all of them. It's the Medite trick. It's the mind trick. Super cool. It is a it's a massive dispel and a massive buff all in one. So you're gonna basically dispel all the buffs on the enemy and inflict. I'm gonna read these off because there's a bunch of them. You're gonna inflict these on the enemy. Ability block, daze, offense down, and speed down for 2 turns. For each debuff inflicted, you're gonna remove. So even if they don't get inflicted, there's some cool things that happen. So for each debuff that inflicted, they're gonna remove 10% turn meter. So if you get all 5 of them, that's 50% of their turn meter. That's almost as good as a hit stagger. Yeah, it's almost as good.
Yeah.
But if they're resisted, you're going to take 20% turn meter away. So you're looking at probably each time you use this ability, 60, 70% of their turn meter is going to be taken away. But the cool thing is bam, right back, you get
15% turn meter for each ally that is resistance. This is going back to the talking point of, obviously she can't just be put into any old team. She's got to go into a resistance team if you want her to shine.
And once again, pro-con checklist, that's going to be a con. But super fun ability, super game-swinging ability. She's going to take away someone's turn and add another turn to herself. So, I mean, and it's a dispel. So there's not a lot to sneeze at, but it's just, once again, we find ourselves about 75% short on a lot of these abilities. So, and then once again, getting back into the leadership role, her leadership, it's gonna give out critical strike and critical damage to resistance. So depending on the role that you're trying to fulfill, being in territory battles or PvP, she might be the leader for you, but I'm just guessing there's nobody in their right mind that's going to replace a Zated Finn over her as the leadership role. I mean,
Totally agree.
Yeah, or Mad Dad. It's just not going to happen. So you might as well blank out that ability. So I mean, yeah, it's just she has, once again, I think that's another con check mark, and so it just adds up to too much, and that's just where she's sitting right now.
What do you think of her uniques though?
Yeah, and when we were talking about this offline, this is actually kind of where I'm most excited about her, and this I think is where she might surprise us. we might be surprised. I'm just gonna throw that out there. After all this we've said, I'm gonna preface, I'm gonna suffix this with she might surprise us. And what I'm saying is her virtuous protector looks real. It looks real. She looks like she cannot be debuffed, which is huge in player versus player. Very big. And she looks like she's gonna have a decent rate of having the foresight up. So she might be unhittable and she might be undebuffable. Remember?
Remember?
You
Well,
might not
I
be
mean,
able to
she's
put a
got a
debuff.
for those of you that don't know, whenever she suffers a debuff, she has a 40% chance to dispel all debuffs on herself, and that requires a Zeta, mind you. But yes,
Yeah, which I mean that's just monstrously huge because obviously it plays into her kit of her basic attacks. So she's always going to have basically she's always going to have 50% more damage because more than likely she's going to be buffed by her own self. So yeah, I mean
and then also to kind of dabble on the second unique for those of you that don't know, it's basically that she gets foresight at the start of the encounter, and she gets it at the end of every single one of her turns. And then whenever she evades, she recovers 5% health and 5% protection. So she's going to evade whenever the foresight is triggered off of her. So basically, think about it like she gains, like, whenever somebody attacks her, they miss the first time, and she gets back a total of 10% in health and protection. 10% when you combine the two, of course. So just for those of you that didn't know.
so put that all together. She basically has a regen package in her kit. So
Yep.
with that, so she has to be double attacked, which can be annoying. I know there's a lot of burst out there. I know there's the Leias. I know there's the Raid Hans that are going to get around this. But double attacking someone, it can be a thing. That could be a lot to take down.
Well, here's the other thing, though, that maybe, it's like Baze and Shroot is what I'm thinking here. You just leave them in the corner and you don't play with them until the end. You're like, no, you guys go over there. I'm dealing with your team. Rey,
Yeah.
You can sit in the corner and just sit there. I'll deal with you at the end.
So okay, let's put all that together. And in a fantasy world, what if she had a taunt?
Well, then she'd be awesome.
Capital. I mean, come on, CG. Let's do this.
Right.
If she had a taunt, wow.
Yeah, I would love to see the leadership replaced with just a taunt. Just
Yeah.
It doesn't have to even do damage. It can just be like, I'm taunting.
Yeah, I completely agree. So I think that's where she sits. She's a tank without a taunt, and she's a leader without a good team. So
yeah, she's got a good team, but
she's got a good team, but she doesn't have a leadership that is going to be applicable. So
yep, I definitely agree with you. She has a lot of things going against her. Not to mention the fact that when she's coming out, she's pretty much behind a paywall. Because the veteran smuggler Chewie and Han haven't been out for very long for as far as being accessible for new players or free to play players for that matter. So as such, she's kind of behind a paywall. Not to mention you had to get First Order to unlock BB-8. You had to get Rey herself, the Scavenger Rey, and Finn. So that's a lot of stuff, and the only person that you're really going to be utilizing in like different facets is going to be BB-8 and Finn, because those both fit snug into a resistance team.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I was at. I'm like, am I going to build a First Order team? Because First Order really isn't that great by themselves in squad. I am going to be eventually building those, but it's just to really concentrate and go the Jedi Journey path myself for Rey. I'm not going to do it. I'm with you 100%. She is not alluring enough. She's hot, but she's not alluring enough for me to make it happen. So Rey, baby, go sit in the corner because I'm not coming after you.
Well, there you go. From two guys, we got Kirill and Mad Dad, and we're both saying she gets the big thumbs down. Sorry to say, CG. It's great, like I said, that you guys did release her because her kid is interesting and is applicable in certain situations. But for a hero's journey, I think we all wanted to see something OP. I'm happy that I'm not, because I was not in the position to get her the first time around, so it's not like I'm going to get dumped on for not having her. So in that regard, great. Again, both of our opinions, she's just not there right now. If they buff her up, maybe in the weeks to come, maybe we can revisit this topic. So from Curio and from Mad Dad, we'll see you guys in game.
The power of the dark side.